the TMC Newsroom. Thanks for watching. My name is Rich Tarani, coming to you from San Jose. On our program today is Jo Severin, who's the CMO of 8x8. Hello, Jo.
Hi, Rich. How are you?
Great. Thanks for being on the program.
Well, thanks for having me.
So your company's been doing some interesting things in terms of hosted unified communications. I was hoping you could share with us what's happening.
Yeah, so in January, we announced that we were going to launch a service called Virtual Office Pro. It's a unified communication service that sits on top of our hosted PBX offering, which we call Virtual Office. And that service actually includes some really key features for us. The first is what we call virtual meeting, which is a web conferencing service. It also includes electronic fax, unlimited, as well as call recording, which was a #1 feature that our customers had been asking for. And then lastly, we also added on an iPhone app or an iPad or iPod Touch application where you actually can take your Office extension with you with that smartphone, and we'll be adding Android and BlackBerry to that a little later in the year. And so that really just took us from just being although hosted PBX, which is a software type of application, from being thought of as a telephone company to a full UC type of offering. And I don't want to sound like a commercial, but I mean amazing value, because at an extension level it's $49.99. That includes all the unlimited local and long distance calling, the web conferencing, virtual meeting. And so many of those offerings, if you think about electronic fax or web conferencing, cost that alone in a month. And so now you get it all packaged together, so your corporate directory is included or integrated, your Outlook contacts are integrated, so it sits on a portal. So you essentially look at your computer, and now you've got your telephone and all the communication services embedded into that portal. So you can check your voicemail, you can look at your faxes, you can pull up your recordings, and it has that soft phone. So technically, if I go out on the road, if I'm a remote employee, I now can use my computer as my telephone, and I don't need that archaic little handset and dial device anymore. The computer now plays that part.
Now, I've been coming to your offices probably for 10 or 15 years, which are located probably, I think, 10 miles or so, even less, from where we are right now. And one of the big topics of conversation regarding this hosted offering has always been features. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious, how important have those features been to getting new customers?
Well, I think it's been important to getting a business customer. If you think about what the offerings are that are out there, you kind of have some options if you're a really small SOHO type of a business, and you've got 1 or 2 lines. Then you've got all sorts of premise-based options if you're a true enterprise customer. But if you think of yourself as, that customer that may be 15 employees to 100, you've kind of been stuck with really expensive hardware solutions or less feature-rich key systems. And so we have auto attendant. We actually offer multiple auto attendants that you can sort of weave together. And what we find with small businesses, they tend to have multiple offices and even multiple businesses.
Right.
Serial entrepreneurs, if you will.
They just can't help themselves.
They can't. So they keep buying up something, and they need a little auto attendant for their tax service, and they need another auto attendant for their lawnmower repair. Depending on how they work. So we have auto attendant ring groups, call queuing, certainly all the toll-free options. So you can look like a really large business with your communications features, even if you're a company of maybe 25 employees.
And what's really interesting is a company can experiment with new businesses with a very low cost, really.
Right.
Just updating the configuration on their hosted IVR, and they're off and running in terms of getting this thing off the ground, right?
Or they can change the ring group on the fly, and they can change their auto attendant as well. So just record the new voices and punch number 3 and end up, instead of in sales, I'm now in sales support. So gives a smaller business a lot of feature functionality.
So do you think this is a reason why your average customer size is growing?
Absolutely. So I think we've kind of seen a market condition.
And how high is it now? What's the average customer?
So our average customer size in terms of what they purchase from us is about a little over 10. Last quarter it was 10.4 services from us. So that includes all their extensions, their toll-free and whatnot. But if you look at a progression, over a year ago, that was in the, maybe 7 or 8. It went to 9, and now we're at 10.4. And I think you'll find in our next quarter it'll even be larger than that. So what we're finding is the market condition is you had the really small Soho business that's just looking for a cheap alternative. Give me VoIP, and I can lower my long-distance calls. And then you had the large enterprise that's buying an IP PBX and understands IP communications. But now we're seeing sort of that mid-small business now thinking about entrusting their communication services to a hosted offering. And because we've moved to UC, where it's fully integrated, I mean, it's really a viable solution for them. Plus, it saves them tons of money. They're not buying a web conferencing service, an electronic fax service, and some sort of telephone feature set or hardware. And, it's just a great value prop for them.
Yeah, more services, less money, better integration, right?
Right.
It's a win-win. What's next?
So for us, there's a couple things. One is we announced in May that we bought a managed hosting company. So we're adding managed hosting to the offering. And again, trying to raise the profile that software as a service is not just telephone services or a conferencing of communications. It really is a series of things that you can buy. And we love the fact it's in our portfolio. And it really helps our customers who have to outsource their hosting. The other thing that we're doing as well is we're taking our UC offering to what we call internally, like for a better word, 2.0, and really taking that soft phone capability and bringing essentially the full telephone, all the buttons pushing and whatnot to the computer. Today our soft phone, you can place and receive a call, you can transfer it, you can disconnect it, you can put it on hold. But we love that on the soft phone you can set up your auto attendant, get your ring group and call queues together. And the soft phone really becomes the telephone. And we can actually get people to think about it's no longer a hardware device. It really is software that runs on your computer.
Well, that's very exciting. Thanks for being on the program today, and looking forward to having you back on again soon.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.